Well, thank you for joining us, and we are here to preview Game Week 2 Super Sunday games in the Premier League. Obviously had a fantastic start to the season last week, some highs, some lows. You can check out the videos to see how we did last week, all on YouTube. You can just see them all listed in the game weeks individually. We've also got some for this weekend upcoming as well you can take a look at. And fresh from some pretty good success last week, the man that said that West Ham are a good thing on the handicap, +2, didn't need the handicap, did they? It's Gio Mackie. Good evening, Gio.
Hey, Sam. Thanks for having me back.
Not a problem. Obviously, next time, tell us we don't need the 2 goals because we could have got 10-1, I think, about West Ham, which looks a mad price on reflection. Hopefully, we'll try and find you guys some value this weekend. And there's some huge games. And we start off with something that's very close to my heart. I'd better lay my cards on the table here and tell you I am a Crystal Palace fan. And we host Arsenal at home. Obviously, Gio, you watched a lot of, I'd imagine, all of the West Ham game last week. So you're really well placed to talk to us about Arsenal. Just give us an overview of this match in particular. And, I mean, I think it's a great game for television. They both play different styles of football, but can both score goals. It should make for a good viewing spectacle, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Palace is one team I like watching as I'm neutral, and Arsenal as well. A bit disappointed with Arsenal last week, actually. Obviously, as a West Ham fan, it's hard not to be, but with money on them to win the title, I was a bit worried for my money already, even after just one weekend.
Yeah, I should add that Gio has contributed to one of our anti-post videos, the relegation one and the Premier League title holders one. You can have a watch back of them, and Arsenal was a suggested bet. They're going to look to make amends this weekend at Palace. We've got the price grid on the screen there. Arsenal I was a little surprised at the size of their price. They're touching around the 1.75 mark. The draw, you're looking at around the 3-1 mark, and then you've got Palace that Victor, I noticed, went to stand out 4-1, 9-2, that kind of price. You know, just at first glances, obviously Arsenal away from home, looking to bounce back. Just your viewpoint on the general prices, do you see any value there?
No, I think it's quite short, actually, given their performance last week. But you have to take into consideration Sanchez didn't start. When he came on, he wasn't on for long, but he looked to make things happen. He was a live wire, but they were already 2 down by the time he came on. That's the only thing that would worry me back in Palace.
No, I know one member suggested to me from our OLBG blog site that perhaps you want to be looking at the handicaps, you know, or possibly, this is one suggestion, Palace take an early lead. You could obviously look to cash out or, you know, lay your bet back if you like. And at the prices, if Palace get to half-time 1-0 up, you're going to probably be sat on a pretty profit at those prices. The outright markets so far this season, there's not been much margin for error, has there? In the games that we've assessed and looked at, including the 3 o'clock kickoffs on the Saturdays that we look at. The markets have been about right, haven't they, Gio?
Yeah, they've not been too far away. I think bookies are obviously playing it a wee bit safe, I think, because they don't know how to view some teams. I think they may be sitting on the fence a bit. That's why I think Arsenal is maybe a wee bit short. But I think we found a good bet for this game, I think, Sam. I'm very confident that our BG bet, if you like, for this game is going to come in.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. Plenty of confidence. Obviously, Palace at home, which I think would be an advantage, but their form last season, I can say this, I used to go to the games, was pretty bad at home. I know they've had a new pitch laid, and they do play that kind of passing football that Arsenal will benefit from a sound surface as well. Do you look too much at last season's home away record? Because it's it is still a similar-ish team. Could it still be plaguing Palace fans or people that want to back Palace?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just because your counter-attacking game, this is from a neutral view, I think the counter-attacking game suits you. You can obviously play it away from home a lot easier than you can play it at home. But with the way Arsenal sets up, you might be able to play the counter-attacking game at Selhurst Park on Sunday. And I think maybe we could have a game on our hands. But I do think you've improved drastically in the summer at Crystal Palace as a squad. I'm really impressed with their transfer business, and that kind of puts me off looking at the head-to-head last season.
Okay, well, we'll leave the match markets there, and we'll come on to some of the slightly more specific bets. With regards to Palace, you mentioned their new additions. Were you surprised that Arsenal out of all the Premier League teams have signed the least amount of players this summer. I think Chelsea's the only real notable signing. The average Premier League team, I think, signs 3 players. Arsenal are stuck on 1. Are you a little shocked?
I think he's going to do more business, Wenger. I think he's just waiting for the right player at the right moment. I think he's just a bit patient. He's looking for a striker. I think everyone knows he's looking for a striker. I think he's just trying to get the right man. And I think Arsenal could still have a couple of weeks yet until they sign someone else, unfortunately. But I don't think they need many players, to be honest. And if you don't need anyone, I'm one of those that you don't spend the money if you don't have to. Just save it for a rainy day or in a case of an emergency.
No, okay, fair enough. Interesting view. We just put the bets on the screen. Just let you know, these are more taken from the site, and I will run through who's doing what. Both teams to score. I mentioned 4 out of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams has seen both teams to score result. Gio, the football these guys play going to lend itself to goals, isn't it? Can't see it. Playing his last words, can't see it as a 0-0. You'd be surprised if this was a 0-0.
Yeah, I think 5 to 6 is quite a big price considering the likely outcome of it happening. I've got no doubts Palace should score, and the same for Arsenal. I thought Arsenal would score last weekend against West Ham. I think if Sanchez was fit and started from the start, they probably would have. But our defence did played out their skin, and that's what worries me from back in Palace. If you like the fact that our whole defence had played out their skin to keep Arsenal out.
I mean, what I would say is I watched the entirety of the Palace Norwich game, and Palace got a good result, but it flattered them. Obviously, Cameron Jerome had his goal disallowed that would have possibly changed things, but they had moments of weakness, if you like, that defence. And it's been well known that we've probably been on the hunt for another centre back to go alongside Scott Dan, who, you know, Damien Delaney's no mug, but he's no Premier League star for what Palace should be aiming for this season. So whilst they've got some great attacking flair, we should note that probably a lot of people were interested in first goal scorer bets. People like Balassi, with short fitness and started on the bench last week. I think he'll be back. He's a huge price if you like a first goal scorer, but he's 18 to 1 at the moment with 365. For a man that blows hot and cold and will shoot from anywhere, that still looks a good price. Wilfred Zaha, who got off the mark and is aiming to score more goals this season, he's a double-figure first goal scorer price as well. Palace have got a little bit of uncertainty around their strikers. Glenn Murray started last week's game. I wouldn't say it's 100% nailed on who he's starting this week as well. There's been transfer speculation around him and Dwight Gale throughout this week in the lead up to the game. Arsenal's team news, we hope to see Sanchez back, don't we, starting from that point of view. He's one of the Premier League stars, Gio. Would you be interested in him as a first goal scorer if he lines up?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he was only on pitch 20 minutes last week, and he was head and shoulders the best player on the park for Arsenal, even though he was only on that short period of time. The other player that impressed me for Arsenal was Oxlade-Chamberlain. I know he had a good game in the Community Shield. He was buzzing again last weekend. He was taking players on. He was looking to shoot from distance as well. So maybe one to consider if you're leaning towards an Arsenal first goal scorer player. Yeah,
but if you want a nice standard bet that we think we can see happening, the 5 to 6 both teams to score, it looks a very fair price. I think would be the assessment that OLBG members and Gio and me would give you. The next bet I've come on to is mainly because I want to talk about him, Gio. Jason Puncheon, 20 to 1 to be man of the match with Bet Victor. Now, these are a bit of a novelty, these kind of bets, because frankly, I think you can tend to rule out a lot of players. A goalkeeper will very rarely get it if there's goals in the game, because frankly, they have to keep clean sheet, and it's usually because the game's been so dire, a goalkeeper wins it. Again, defenders, you don't see many unless they score a goal picking it up. I always think influential midfielders that take set plays are the ones that always you should be looking at in the man of the match market. Jason Puncheon, fantasy football fans out there would love this guy. You know, he was assisting players left, right, and centre. And I wouldn't go as far to say the midfield been built around him, but even with the arrival of Johan Cabaye, who's playing a bit further back, Jason Puncheon is the man that Palace looked to create through the middle of the park. And I thought 21 was quite a good price. What was your view on that, Gio?
Well, you know better than I do, but certainly from a neutral, everyone respects him. Like you said, it sometimes just comes down to whoever changes the game, and Jason Puncheon can take a wicked free kick, as we know. So just that little moment of inspiration can sometimes get you the man match. And let's be honest, it sometimes does come down to who's favourites with the pundits at the time, kind of thing, as to who gets in. he's someone that he's got that likeable factor. So yeah, it's a good shout, Sam. As a Palace fan, I can understand why you've gone for it.
And our final bet that's been put up, and this is where we like to get involved. And sometimes I do a little bit of spying on the OLBG site, and I went out and checked Ralphie 1982. He's actually one of our contributors mainly for our golf videos as well, but he's a big Palace fan. And you can check the OLBG site. There's all sorts of different blogs for different events. And he's blogged about this game in particular, as he said his family were huge Arsenal fans, and he's a Palace fan. Unfortunately, from a Palace perspective, he's going for a 2-1 scoreline to Arsenal, which varies in price at the moment. It's a result I can see happening hand on heart. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility. Arsenal themselves should, if they've got any aspirations of the title, need to be going away to Palace and picking up points. They can't be getting a draw. They need to be going for all three. I don't think Palace will be a million miles away from them. I can't see it being a cricket score unless there's an odd decision, red card early in the game. 2-1 as a scoreline bet goes for an away team to beat the home team. You're usually going to get around probably an 8, 7, maybe 6 if they're a bit tight, the bookies. If you're on that, you think it's a likely outcome?
If you fancy Arsenal to win, that's probably going to be the most likely score you're going to go for. Personally, I can't trust Arsenal after what I witnessed last weekend yet. I don't think they're quite in the rhythm. But one stat I am going to throw up, I think I'm the only person that looks at referees. When it comes to games, I like to look at referees with teams. And under Lee Mason, who's the ref in charge on Sunday, Crystal Palace have won 4 of their last 6 and drawn 1. And I like looking at things like that just for a wee bit of difference, because some teams do get the rubber green from some referees. They do. I don't care who says they don't, they do. And that stands out like a sore thumb to me, so it puts me off back in Arsenal.
You had me sweating there, thinking I was going to have to get the legal team on you, Gio, when you were making accusations about Premier League referees and favouring teams. Listen, referees are always a hot topic between football fans. Some people follow them to the end of the earth stats around discipline and referees. I'm not such a big believer in it. I don't get me wrong, Sellers Park will be rocking on Sundays and plenty of noise. I don't believe it links to referee. And, only last week you have to look at results that went against so-called bigger teams. We saw what happened to Chelsea. And I think people forget that when Chelsea get a decision wrongly given that benefits them, people will slate them and say, oh, that won't happen. Well, you have to look at the sponsor game. I think the referees in our league do a fantastic job, because you see some absolutely dreadful ones, frankly. If you watch some of the continental football like Gio and myself do, there's some pretty bad ones out there. So I think the referees are all right. I'm going to stand up for them and tell you that Gio's talking about this. Gio, have you got a bet for this game?
Just the both teams to score 5-6 and over 3.5 goals. I think there's going to be loads of goals in this game at 9-4. I think that's a nice price to include in the accumulator.
Yeah, I'll give you the price. 8-1 with Bet365 is the best price for the 2-1 scoreline, which I think is fair. Just about within the range of what I thought towards the top end, which is always, and Bet365 should add as well. So there's plenty to go on for the Palace game. We'll hope it's an exciting start to Super Sunday. I'd love to get your views on it, guys. So just drop your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and you get all these videos sent to you. And they're great previews, and we are tipping winners. Just go and check out Gameweek 1, and you'll see our man Gio was on fire, as well as other OLBG members whose tips will appear on your screen throughout the shows. Well, we must move on to the next game now. And Gio, this is one that either is going to be a classic or a dreadful game that Chelsea come very prepared for. Fair assessment of Man City Chelsea?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of a Marmite fixture, is it? You're either going to love the game or you're going to hate the game. It's one of the two. Sometimes you can watch these games and you think you just wasted your Sunday afternoon, but because of the pedigree, you can't not watch it, can you?
Well, it's going to be fascinating, because let's be honest, they've had contrasting weeks. Chelsea have probably had a week from hell, and City have probably, for their standards, had a pretty easy time of it. Pre-season form is something a lot of people talk about. Neither had great pre-seasons. City had a really bad pre-season. I watched a lot of City, and if you watch the anti-post video back, I shame myself on there if they go and win the league, because I couldn't have them winning the league at all. But it probably shows why you shouldn't overread into pre-season. They dispatched West Brom Monday night with ease. I mean, they looked like they had an extra player on the pitch for most of the game. West Brom barely troubled them. Gio, do you think that's flattering Man City because West Brom are quite dreadful at the moment? Or do you
I
think
watched the second half, firstly, but I've also read reports and I spoke to a couple of people who watched the game, and I have a belief in football that sometimes you can get a thing called false confidence, where you come out of a game thinking that you're really good, but really the other team's done you a favour. And I think this is maybe what City's got. I said it about Arsenal last weekend before they played West Ham. I thought they had a false confidence from the Community Shield. And I think City is going to maybe be a victim of it this weekend.
an interesting view? We've got the price on the screen there. We've only gone as far as the prices for you, because you've got all the best prices on your screen. City just over even money at home. You've got the draw at the 3.5 mark, and Chelsea are a whopping 3.80. First of all, anything in the outright market there grab you? I know we don't tend to go for them, but people are putting this could be a lot of people's value in the accumulator, so to speak, because if you've landed all your Saturday games and you pick any of these teams or the draw, you're going to probably find yourself getting a nice double payout. So what would you lean towards if you had to have a gun to head and pick the result?
Well, I'm nailing my start on the fence for the Crystal Palace game, but for this one, I'm nailing my heart on the line here and saying a draw. I'm pretty confident actually about it as well. It's going to be in some of my bets as well. But if you're a punter and you're looking at this game and you think it's going to be City win, Chelsea win, or a draw, it's either outcome's really good value for your accumulator this weekend. I think this is one of the games where it doesn't matter which option you go for, it's good value.
This is going to be one of those games, isn't it, where you go on Twitter and you see people's different slips going on, and there's going to be big accumulators ending up with these results that could potentially make or break it. What we'll do now is I'll bring up the slide to delve straight into our specific bets, because they're a little bit more niche, and you can explain your particular chosen one in this, Gio. This is going to be your nap of the weekend, I think, from what you told me earlier. So we've got Gio's tip on the screen. We'll start with that middle one, Gio. Draw an under 2.5 goals, 7-2 shot with Betway. Just give us your confidence behind it. Just tell us how you think the teams are set up, actually. Chelsea, obviously already behind Manchester City. Are they really going to play for a draw, second game of the season?
Yeah, I think Mourinho's going to view this as his title rivals dropping 2 points at home. And I think he's going to see it as, I think City will view it as they're going into game week 3 2 points ahead of Chelsea. So I think both managers will be satisfied with the point. Mourinho's known for setting up away from home against the big sides, just trying to frustrate them, if you like, and quite happily take the point, knowing that he's going to leave with the point, but the other teams drop the 2 at home. That's crucial here. The reason I've gone for under 2.5 is because Martin Atkinson's the referee. Yes, another referee stat, but 5 of his last 6 Premier League games have been under 2.5 goals. And Chelsea haven't won in the last 3 games with him in charge, and there's been 2 red cards in those games as well. He's my favourite referee in the Premier League, actually, Martin Atkinson. I think he's a brilliant referee. I really like him, and I think he'll have a hold of this game. And any underhand tactics, if you like, I think will be erased. And I'm quite looking forward to this one, actually. I think it's going to be an entertaining draw.
Yeah, I mean, the reason you've got on your screens the top tip displayed of Chelsea or draw at 4-5 at Bet365 is I went to try and get a Man City angle on it, because obviously Gio he gives you his tips, so I felt I had to try and look for someone to support the favourites. And frankly, I went on the app, and it's only early stages. This is recorded a little bit earlier in the week. The OLBG members are all over Chelsea in a draw. No one is backing City apart from the man at the bottom. Messi is a star, spelled straightly, rather oddly, but that is his OLB username, who said to me on his post that he felt Man City was huge value at the prices, 23-20 with Paddy Power, and he couldn't leave them alone. He said they scored 3 on Monday night. He said, I think his words were, they barely sort of had a game as such, if I can interpret it like that. Whereas Chelsea slogged it out against Swansea at home, disappointed, negativity in the team around what's gone on with this silly story about the doctor that Jose's really just found. I don't know why he's had to make himself so unpopular, and football clubs washing dirty linen in public never ends well, does it, Gio?
No, but I think he likes he's almost like the naughty person in the Christmas panto, isn't he, Mourinho? He likes being that person that the joker of the pack, the one that gets booed. He doesn't mind it. He loves it. And he's done a very clever thing here. He's taken the attention away from the fact that his side dropped points at home to Swansea and put it on his physio thing. And while what's going on isn't necessarily great and no one really agrees with him, there's been no questions about his side's performance, and that's exactly what he's wanted.
The cynic in me says that's why she's ended up possibly not being allowed to sit on the bench and all this rubbish, because we're all talking about that, and no one's talking about the fact that Chelsea in the Charity Shield looked pretty average, and also, Community Shield I should add, I'm not just gone back 10 years, and also they look pretty okay in spots against Swansea, but really there's obviously something wrong there. Oscar did not look like a happy man. It just didn't look like reigning champions coming out to defend a title. They looked a bit hit and miss. Now, obviously, we might get a few people slating us. We've got 3 tips and the screen that, well, one will definitely happen as such. What I would say is no LBG member tips. You can take them as you want, but the majority of the population on our community is saying Chelsea or draw. Gio is going for draw and under 2.5. That's his special bet. But I just like to highlight the individual member that's backing Man City, because I think it's only fair that Messi as a star gets his name up in lights, because if City win and you decide to go with them, it's thanks to him. Gio, this is going to be a big Sunday, isn't it, for the title race? Markets there, just a quick 1 minute on that. Do you think it could be worth backing Chelsea if they lose this game? They're going to go out to a big price, aren't they, for the title?
If you fancy them to win the title, yeah, I would be waiting and hoping that they don't win this game and maybe taking them. Obviously, Man U play Friday, so there's a wee bit of a gap until the other title contenders play. But it's a very big fixture to have just the second weekend, isn't it?
It's amazing what that fixture computer throws up, because it's random apparently. But yes, I think Chelsea have got too much to lose, and I can see you tip on the draw. You're not going to get Chelsea or draw at 4 to 5 many times this season. Let's be honest. And if they'd won convincingly and put 3 past Swansea, I don't think they'd be that price either. I think there's a little bit of overreaction from, I'm surprised to say, the bookmakers, because usually they're the first ones to be rational in their thinking. I think there's been a bit of an overreaction. And if the boot was on the other foot, would Chelsea be 4 to 5 shots if they brushed past Swansea? Probably not. If they had their first choice goalkeeper as well, we need to factor that into the team news. He's going to be a loss, but Asmir Begovic is probably more than capable at this level, isn't he? It's not a negative, really.
No, I think he's a fantastic keeper anyway. I wouldn't worry too much about the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. It's not something I would take into consideration when I'm looking at the outcome of the game. The only thing I'd worry about is Chelsea's defence. A couple of them getting on a wee bit with their age, Ivanovic and Terry. And I'm still not convinced they're going to be as good as they were last season. And that's something I'm hoping a certain ex-Liverpool player is going to test down that left flank for City.
Yes, I was going to say, this could be the making of Raheem Sterling. He could be the man to keep an eye on. Gio, I want to thank you for your thoughts this evening on those 2 games. Obviously, guys, we've got other games coming out. We'll have one around the Liverpool game, which is a Monday night football game. They face a Bournemouth team that will be looking for some points. Very big mismatch there, but Gio and I think we've found a bit of value for you. You can click to see the other games. If you're watching this before the games happen, we've got an Aston Villa Man United preview where we really fancy a bit of an upset there. I won't give too much away. You just need to click on the video to watch it. Don't forget to subscribe and you'll get all these sent to you directly. Gio, thank you for your time today.
No problem. Good night, Sam.
And hopefully we'll be backing you some winners. So keep your eyes peeled. Add your comments and your predictions, because we love to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching.